What I want to show you now is the concept of commenting out content. What exactly does that mean? Well, for example, if we look at this page of the history of the web, you see the very top thing I say is the content was copied from the Wikipedia article, blah, blah, blah. Now, I wanted that in there because I didn't want anybody to think that I was just using this content as though it were my own, but I don't necessarily feel that it fits in with everything. So what I want to do is sort of keep it there but not have it visible in the browser. And the way to do that is to use HTML, I guess, commenting. And let me just show you exactly what I'm talking about. Let's go to the portion of the page where we have that content, right? So here we go. We made it a paragraph, so it's nested in these paragraph tags. And what I want to do is I want to leave it in there, but I don't want to make it visible. So here's what I'm going to do. First order of business is just deleting those paragraph tags. We got them out of here, and we just have the content, okay? Now, time for the actual code that gets all this stuff out of the visible part of the browser. So let's do the less than sign, exclamation point, dash, dash. Now, you should have noticed that something in my text editor kind of changed, right? My text editor does color coding, so when I take it out it goes from black, but then when I start that commenting it goes gray because it already knows I'm about to comment it out. So there's the visual cue on what I'm about to do. So that's how I start the beginning of what I want to be taken out, and then I'm going to go to the end of what I want to be taken out, and I'm going to put dash, dash, and greater than. I hope I'm not getting those mixed up. This is less than, that's greater than. Okay. And there you go. Now if you just look, it's slightly different color. It's a gray color, and this is black. Now I'm going to save it. Now let me show you the result. If we look over here in Firefox, keep your eye out on this content over here, right up top. I'm going to give it a refresh, and boom, it's gone. It's not there anymore. So the visitor who would see it doesn't see it anymore. But if we actually look at the back-end code, you see that it's actually there in the code view, but it's not in the visible view. So a web-savvy person who knows how to look at the source of a page would see that, but your regular visitor wouldn't. And it's also kind of like, you know, you have it in there. What purpose does this serve? Well, oftentimes you may want to put comments in your code. I do that often. I do it often with, I don't have much to show now on what I do, but you could always put something like, let's say, needs a better title, right? And that's kind of a reminder to yourself. Now, I don't necessarily add comments like that, of that nature to my code, but the point being is you could add whatever you want, knowing that, oh, why did that, something must have happened. You could add whatever, oh, there we go. You could add whatever you want in that code. Just know that the more savvier viewers will be able to see it, but your run-of-the-mill won't. And the other thing is, even your savvy viewers, unless they really want to look at your source, you know, I'm not looking at the source code of all the pages I go on the internet. So that is the concept of commenting stuff out in HTML. Now the syntax is slightly different in CSS, but the same principle applies. You just start the commenting out and you end the commenting out, and everything in the middle gets basically ignored by the browser. So let's do something like ignore this color gray. You could do that instead of using that less than sign, exclamation point, dash, dash. We could use / asterisk, and that starts it, and you already see this is grayed out. And where we want it to end, we could have asterisk / and now we're back to normal. And the result is going to be that this is going to be ignored. So I'm assuming that the headers are going to go from gray back to black. And let's just use it in Windows over here. Yeah, exactly what I thought. So they're back to black because this is being ignored. I often use comments in my CSS to help me understand why certain properties exist. So I'll show you how I would actually use it in real world. You know, you don't have to have them on separate lines. Even if you give a space and have an asterisk like this, everything in the middle over here is ignored. I'll just put stuff like this is for all the headers. And obviously I understand that this would be for all the headers. This is a very simple example, but your CSS code could sometimes get a little hairy and you got all sorts of stuff, and it's very useful to add comments in there. So just to summarize, if you want to add comments in your CSS, you do it with / asterisk, all the stuff you want ignored, then asterisk / by the way, this is the symbol above the 8. And if you want to comment stuff out in HTML, you would do the less than, ! All that stuff in the middle, then -- greater than. And just so we're clear, that could also be on one line. It doesn't really matter. You just got to make sure that you start it and you end it, so you don't have more stuff than you want actually being ignored by the browser.